Kalimera, ladies and gentlemen. We are deeply indebted to Greek civilization for the invention of the soap opera, for example, The Lapdacids, a prequel to Dynasty. In order for you to be able to follow the intricate action of episode 1490 called Antigone, I'll just present a brief summary of what happened so far. The king of the city of Thebes, Laius, has received a rather annoying prophecy, namely, if ever he has a son with his wife Jocasta, this son will kill him and marry Jocasta afterwards. Naturally, this is a little deterring, but nature runs its course, and the couple do have a little son. However, they find a way of dealing with the threat by abandoning the boy in the wilderness, having, for security reasons, pierced the infant's feet and bound them together. You never can tell with the little buggers. Instead, however, of dying a cruel death, the little thing hops all the way from the wilderness to the king of Corinth, who names him Oedipus because after the piercing business his feet are swollen. Here Oedipus grows up and, as a teenager, he's at some point cruising around Greece with a family car and on a very narrow road encounters another driver, none other than his own father Laius. None of them know each other, none want to give way. Both have big cars, one word leads to another, and Oedipus kills his own father. A little later he comes to Thebes, where he beats a mutant called Sphinx in a kind of quiz program and inevitably gets to know the widow of the former king, who, being a cougar, is quite attracted to him in a kindred spirit kind of way. They get married and have 4 children. 4. The boys, quite lively, Eteocles and Polynices, as well as the girls, Antigone and last but not least Ismene, who is more the homey kind of type. Idyllic family life, however, doesn't last for very long. The city of Thebes is haunted by an epidemic of the plague, the Black Plague probably. And as the Greeks have invented logic, they ask the oracle for help. The oracle tells them, the suffering people of Thebes, to find the killer of Laius in order to get rid of the plague. Unfortunately, nobody has seen who killed Laius. Oedipus himself is not aware of having killed the old king, so at some point the blind seer Tiresias steps forward as an eyewitness. Some kind of gag, isn't it? So he tells Oedipus he's killed his father, married his mother, and had 4 children with her, upon which Oedipus, being a gentleman, stabs his own eyes and dies in a foreign land, and Jocasta kills herself too. The crown, however, is passed on to the sons Eteocles and Polynices. They share it by taking turns on the throne. When, however, Eteocles wears the crown and Polynices says, "It's my turn now to be king, give it here," Eteocles replies, "Tough luck." So Polynices assembles a gang of 7 friends in order to give his brother a good hiding. 7 against Thebes was one of the last episodes. He wages war against Eteocles and his home city of Thebes, and fighting man to man, the 2 brothers kill each other. So the only ones left of the clan are Ismene and Antigone. The crown, however, goes to Jocasta's brother Creon, which is the point where the action starts. Greek tragedy with a capital T has 2 advantages. Firstly, it's really funny, and secondly, it only needs 1 decoration. For your enjoyment, we have not shied away from a significant investment in a precise and historically correct reconstruction of ancient Thebes, the city of the 7 gates. It is in the middle of the night in Thebes, but young Antigone is already awake, having dragged her sister out of bed as well. "Here, Ismene. You heard Creon saying that our brother Polynices can't be buried." "Yeah, that's a shame, and so—" "What you mean, so? Here's the shovel. We are going to bury him now. You come along?" And Ismene goes, "Yeah, but there's servants for this kind of thing, isn't there? Are you an undertaker now?" And Antigone goes, "Yeah, I thought so." "Pfft. Antigone. No. Come on. No! Oops! You go back to bed. I'll bury your brother and be responsible for his salvation. You gotta do everything yourself." And Ismene goes back to bed. Upon which the chorus appears. They are not to be confused with the Thebes cathedral choir, but a kind of Statler and Waldorf of the city. Elderly people with no occupation who don't have anything to do except for gossiping and complaining. And one of them goes, "Look, how nice, the sun's rising again." And the other replies, "Yeah, and we had such a nice war and so much to chat about." And since Greek tragedy has to be completed in 24 hours, the king is already awake too, doing his little control cruise through the village. He sees the chorus and goes, "And by the way, guys, nobody is to bury Polynices, right?" "Oh, we'd never do that, Mr. King. We're always on the side of the law." And he's hardly said it when a guard, in our version, that role is portrayed by an actress, hello, enters and goes, "Mr. King?" "Yes." "Somebody's buried Etiu Polynices." "What?" "Well, not really. It's only a bit of dust that's been thrown over him. Maybe it doesn't count." "You are in big trouble if you don't find the perpetrator immediately." "Okay," so exit the guard, and the king is terribly upset while the chorus sniggers a bit, but when Creon turns to them they say, well, we are always on the side of the law. And before Creon can say nemesis, Antigone is led in, who has been caught in the act by the guard. And Creon says, "Oh no, my niece. Did you know this was forbidden?" "Yeah. And why did you still do it?" "Because this is an abuse of power. We have religious freedom in Thebes, and you issue this so-called law that collides with divine command to bury the dead? Yeah, but no, I'm not going for that. I'd rather be killed by you than violate the commands of the gods." And Creon goes, "Brilliant. Then I have to sentence my own niece to death now." And the chorus says, "Excuse me, this is your son's girlfriend." To which Creon replies with the ugly phrase, "There are other acres to plough for him." When Ismene comes rushing in and goes, "Oh no, Antigone, here, I want to be sentenced along with her. I was her accomplice." But Antigone says, "That's so not on. Here, look at her fingernails, then you know she hasn't dug at all." And Creon replies, "Fine with me, so lead Antigone away, she's sentenced to death." Naturally, this isn't easy for Creon either. He's upset and lingering around when his son comes in, and Creon thinks this is gonna be very difficult and goes, "So," and the son goes, "Daddy, you are so right. I am obeying you in everything, and you are so right. You are so extremely right." And Creon is really relieved and says, "Haimon, I hadn't expected this of you. Let's go to the pub." "Yeah, absolutely. Let's accept." "Accept what?" "Except for the people. It's like this. I don't mind Antigone to be executed. It's just the people of Thebes. They are talking the whole time and they find it stupid she's condemned. So maybe you'd better let her go or you might not be king for much longer." And he goes, "No. But no. But no. Wait a minute. You can't have a conversation like this. What are you? You are not a tyrant, are you?" "Ah, fuck it. If you execute Antigone, I'm killing myself too." And he exits, while Creon, being really desperate now, goes to the pub on his own. And the chorus goes, "Oh, oh, 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 oh." Then Antigone passes by on her way to execution. And she turns around and asks her guard, "By the way, how am I going to be killed?" And the guard replies, "Well, you're going to be buried alive in a tomb." And she goes, "Well, I oppose to that. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Goodbye, sunshine, then. I'll be on my way." Creon comes back from the pub when Tiresias, the blind seer, enters, led by a boy. And Tiresias addresses him Creon, and Creon tries to be funny and hides a little and goes, "Boo." And Tiresias said, "Cut the crap, Creon. You know I'm an augur. I watch birds." "How can you watch birds if you are blind?" And Tiresias gets a little tetchy and says, "There's this fantastic technology called language. Here, my assistant looks at the birds, tell me what he's seeing, and I do the oracle remix." "Oh, I see. Yeah, now listen. The birds are flying extremely badly. The sacrifices are going extremely badly." And Creon says, "Here, I know where this is going. You want money, don't you? Bloody seers, it's only dosh for them." And now Tiresias gets furious and goes, "Listen, laddie, I may be Greek, but I don't always only want your money. And in order to shut you up, I'm now telling you this. If you have Antigone executed, you'll pay that mistake with your own blood. So bye-bye." "Ah! Oh!" And Creon can only yell after him, "Hey, Resi, I didn't mean it this way." And he turns to the chorus and says, "Maybe I've made a mistake." And the chorus goes, "Well, we told you so, didn't we?" So Creon runs quickly after Antigone. But the only thing that is heard from offstage is sharp yells, and the messenger enters and goes, "Yo, we would never be able to put on stage what has just happened over there on account of it being far too expensive with all the stage blood and stuff. What has happened is this." And an elderly lady comes in and listens to him in the background. "So Antigone has hung herself after being walled in that tomb. Haimon finds her and stabs himself." And the elderly lady seems to have heard enough and goes on. And afterwards we learn that this was Eurydice, Creon's wife, who then stabs herself in the eyes and then in the heart, probably with a knitting needle, which proves that most accidents happen in the household. And they have this thing with eye stabbing in this soap, really. And Creon comes back as a broken man, weighed down with sorrow, barely able to utter the Greek exclamation of pain. Fuck. Don't miss the next episode. Was there really something going on between Ismene and her sister's fiancé? Is Tiresias only really the nice uncle? And is Oedipus really dead? The Leptosides Dynasty.
Vielen Dank.